Hello, I'm Sharon Drechsler, and I am here with Andy Pearson, who is founder of Aviawest in Canada. And you, as I understand, Andy, are responsible, or your company is developing a LEED Platinum project here in Victoria, and you're very passionate about the environment. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about your green initiative.
Yes, I can. I have been interested in the environment for most of my adult life, and we started with Pacific Shores back in 1991, and we instigated the first commercial recycling program in the district, and we composted everything, and so we have been really pioneers in the green movement. However, things are really becoming much more everybody is concerned about green now, and there's a lot of evidence about greenhouse warming and climate change and what's going to happen to people when the oil runs out and fossil fuels run out. So part of the process, I wanted to build a LEED Platinum project, which will be, as far as I know, the first LEED Platinum project in the world. And LEED it stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. And the U.S. Green Building Council is the one that first started LEED. And now it's moved to BC and finally into Canada. So one problem with building a project that is, you're going for a certain designation, and it starts off as certified silver, gold, and platinum. One of the problems is you don't get awarded the designation until you finish the project, and you have to get a certain number of points, and if you fall 1 point short, you'd be the top gold project instead of the platinum project. Dockside Green is a residential project in Victoria as well, and it has done all sorts of innovative processes, and we're trying to do the same kind of processes. They've gone a little further. They generate their own heat, and they sell it to a hotel down the street, and they also generate their own power from waste wood. So we didn't have a big enough site to really do those things, but we have all sorts of environmental initiatives that will make the building safer, more comfortable, much less energy, much less water, much reduced stormwater runoff. All the glass is fritted. The suites don't have air conditioning, which is a waste, but they will be within 1 to 2 degrees of the optimal temperatures. The glass is fritted glass. It's very high E glass. It's very expensive glass, but over the long term, if you reduce the cost of running air conditioning, you're reducing your carbon footprint, and you're also saving the end users the cost of buying that power. The site is contaminated, what they call a brownfield site. It was the home of the old General Hospital, and prior to that was a hospital run by the nuns back in the turn of the century. But the site was remediated, and there's a lot of things that may be counterintuitive about green, but high density is good. So and you get 1 point for having a higher density than normal with urban sprawl. You get more space because we create rooftop gardens that you can use, and on a small site that's important. Now the site is about a third of a city block, but there's 2 towers, and these are linked by an atrium. And right attached to the convention center across the road is the old Crystal Gardens of the Empress Hotel. And they operated for about 25 years as a sort of an oasis in the city. It's all greenhouse, and it was like a jungle with little waterfalls and creeks and endangered species. So in their wisdom, when the government decided to look for a new tenant, I guess the the gardens weren't making enough money, even though they brought in 250,000 people a year. They were going to shred all those plants. And so we rescued 4,000 plants, some of them 30 feet high, like palms, and we have them in storage awaiting the new atrium, and we will repatriate them to the Parkside project. The building is a concrete building, steel and concrete, and it has 40% fly ash, which extends the concrete is a very, very bad product. It creates a high carbon footprint, and so the more fly ash, which is a waste product, you put into it, it makes it just as strong, but it reduces the carbon footprint by 40%. So other things we're doing is we have low flush toilets, or dual flush actually, so you can, small or big. And
much like the Europeans are doing.
That's right, yes. And like the choice of materials is renewable materials like maple, or our cupboards are made out of poplar, which grows very fast growing tree. Bamboo on some of the walls. So also one of the points is for durable products. So the project, if you have a marble floor and it lasts for 100 years or 1,000 years, that is less, use. It is not using as much transportation to bring in new carpet or whatever every 5 years or 10 years or whatever. It's hard off the top of my head to think about all the things we're doing, but we're trying to reduce water consumption, for example, by 50%. And that through the use of these low flush toilets and that sort of thing. We also have all of the stormwater will be directed into a stormwater storage tank, and then it'll be used for irrigating the gardens. So that also saves on the amount of water that's going down the sewer line, which we pay not only for the water, but we pay for the sewage effluent. So if we can reduce that effluent by 50%, then our sewage bills will be half as big. So energy, we are looking to reduce the energy consumption of the whole building by groundwater geothermal heat pumps by 45 or 50% of ASHRAE, which is a standard that basically says if you build a modern home today, that's about where they are measuring it from. And so we're basically cutting our energy consumption in half. So obviously that saves the people who will be moving in and using it a lot of money. I mentioned that we don't have any air conditioning, but that's countered by all of the windows and doors are operable. And the hallway has a negative pressure, so if you open a window, it'll suck the air through the unit. And Victoria is a very moderate climate anyway. But the engineering, the mechanical engineering is very, very high tech to make sure that the comfort levels are there. We don't have any formaldehydes or other things that I guess it's high VOC, where they give off gases, and a lot of people get asthma, or nowadays something like a quarter of the kids have asthma, which wasn't the case when I was young, even though I did have it myself. But so it's very important when people go into a unit that they're comfortable and that it doesn't have any of these gas emissions from carpets or whatever, and glues in the cupboards that are full of formaldehydes, which are carcinogenic, I guess. So,
thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet you, and
nice
congratulations
to meet you too.
on your project.